These guys are not experts.
And I'm not sure they're even that smart.
They do like video games.
And I guess you could say they're funny.
Sometimes.
Well, they do like to talk.
And they do have opinions.
It's time for Video Game Replays!
Yo, what's up, VGR fam? Welcome to the show. Joining us today's episode, we got co-host Larry in the building. What's going on, Larry?
Hey guys, this is Larry. How you doing? It's good to see you again. With me, I got CJ.
I'm in the building. I'm barely alive, but I am alive, and that is the truth.
CJ is alive. Has some PTSD, has some shit going on, some vacation, a lot of shit going on. We actually haven't recorded in a while. Last time we recorded a couple and post them. Summer vacation, baby. But you know what? Summer vacation's coming to an end. Season 2 is around the corner. Just stay alert. But we got a lot to catch up on. I mean, we haven't really sat in here and talked for a good while. I mean, we've seen each other, but haven't potted for a minute. So what's going on? See, you've been gaming or not gaming?
Man, I have not been gaming. Like to say since the last time we met, dude, I have not got much gaming done. Went to the beach, enjoyed some time there. I do have some videos. Got some stuff cooking up for the pod, so I would like to put that out. I need to upload it to my computer and get it edited up. So it's a sneaky little CJ segment coming, something small. Outside of that, dude, it's my nickname in college, just coaching basketball. We got the season for the older group starting. It's definitely hit the ground running. A lot of practices, a lot of games. My eyeball almost fell out. Looks, I don't know, for the video watchers, it looks a lot better than it did, but it looked like, kind of looked like Piccolo's head from Dragon Ball for any of those Dragon Ball fans. What one of my eyes looked like put a big fro in a do-rag and tied it too tight, just one eye. So dude, I thought I was losing my eye. Fun VGR trivia fact for anybody in the future. TJ is allergic to sulfides in medicine, so that'll be on the trivia bulletin board. But other than that,
Little fun VGR fact.
Yeah.
Keep that on the back burner, fans.
Yeah, you could win a giveaway or something in the future. So it'll be the eye drops they gave me that I can't use.
Here, you can have them.
Yeah, but,
Larry, you been gaming? Shit, I mean, it sounds like CJ don't got shit to talk about here. I mean,
No, he's too busy trying to play that adult life. Me being real adult, I do squeeze in about an hour or so a day of whatever I can get in. Worst thing is, I think it's been almost a little over a month since we played. I played a shit ton of Minecraft. Finally hit the edge of that and got burned out on it. I did play a game called Bravery. I think it's called Bravery and Greed. Got together with my oldest daughter and exposed her to it. And basically, it's a what's those games when the board regenerates itself? I can't remember what it's called now. It's never the same level twice.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it has a name to it, but I know what you're talking. It's like random seed. It's like every time it's a random seed. It's not like.
But this is like a wizardry warrior kind of deal where you can have a warrior, which is what I usually picked. You can have one that has an archer, I think a gnome, and maybe a wizard. And
is it like a rogue type?
There you go. That's the word we're looking for.
That's what you're looking for. Okay.
Roguelike. Yeah. And but you go through the level and you collect different little buffs and debuffs and all these kind of things, which would power up your character. And it was more of a action platformer versus a RPG or any of those kind of things. So you'd go through the level, you kill monsters, you collect money, collect powers, and all that stuff. And I think there's like 5 different levels you have to complete to beat the game. I beat this on a solo one myself, and I guess because you add people into it, it gets harder. So we'd only probably got to about 2 of them together. It's a pretty little fun game. It keeps it keeps it simple, but keeps it interesting too. So I did dig into that. God, since I have spoke to you guys, like I say, old man here, my oldest daughter, we played that game because basically I ended up sending her off to college. Uh,
Yeah.
she's been at college for just about a month right now, and she's been home 3 times, which that's fine. Well, got a lot of family shit going on in the month of August. So like I say, can't complain about that. She's close enough; she can still come home in a day. So my youngest is back in school, so like I said, that's what's kept me occupied. Work is a pile of shit, but that's that's any given day of the week. You guess what you're gonna get out of that
Yeah.
one. So other than that, yeah, like I say, I did pick up and do the game. I know one of the last times we were together, me and Aiden, we got some Switch action on one of our, I guess my brother, his cousin's Switch, and we played some Mario Golf. Fucking Nintendo games are expensive. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
They're
go with that.
ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
so I found a old favorite, but with a new name. If you have a PlayStation, it was known as Everybody's Golf. But basically, it's a cartoony golf game. I think even here it's called Hot Shots up until like part 5. But the guy left and he created his own game, and it's called what is it? Easy Come, Easy Golf. A pun off the Easy Come, Easy Go.
Yeah.
But it's a weird golf game. It's very cartoony. Plays like a simulation though. It's just the characters are cartoony. But every hole you play as a different character. So it's not like the race aspect that you got out of like Mario Golf with the people running to hurry up and do it. But at this hole, you would use character A, second hole, use character B, who all had different strengths, weaknesses, and you want to build a collective team on it. And it's really fun. It's better than I thought it'd be. I guess the only thing I didn't care for was it's a port of a mobile game. But strangely plays very well. If you're into golf games, Mario Golf, $60-$70 still.
Yeah.
5 years after it came out.
Yeah.
This was $20, straight out. So I mean, it's worth $20. I mean, that's right in my neighborhood of it. But if you're into golf, you like that thing, that's a recommendation for you. But outside of that, working, slaving, paying to get kids through school, that's my life right now. How about you, man?
I'll feel you on the kids part, but on the Nintendo games are expensive part, I do get you. I think I bought Smash Bros. Maybe the worst, maybe not the worst, not the best decision ever. I mean, the Switch 2 is upon us. There's been no announcements for any Smash Bros. Ultimate 2 or anything. And I always love Smash Bros. On the Wii. It'll eventually come out, but for right now, I paid a ridiculous amount of money for it. I should have just looked on eBay because I was looking at some Nintendo games on eBay, and they definitely have a lot better deals than if you just buy from Nintendo themselves. It was ridiculous.
eBay's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
They'll have, and sometimes they'll have like bulk games, like they'll have like 10 games for like $100 or something like that, and they're just like random games. So that might be the way to go, but I've been playing a little Valorant here and there, pretty much by myself. I've been playing Clash of Clans. I mean, in Clash Royale, there's on my regular rotation. I stay on Clash Royale. Clash Royale, I stay on Clash Royale. Well, it's because I'm at work, and I work 12-hour shifts of pretty much doing jack shit, and I just play Clash Royale the whole time, and end up raging. That's pretty much it.
Throw your phone around,
little
around the
Balatro.
building.
I know I have slammed my phone on the desk a couple of times. Yeah, little Clash Royale, little Valorant. Playing a little bit of Balatro, that little game on my little poker game type thing on my phone. I think it's actually classified as a roguelike as well. Just because there's like a shop you buy from with cards, and it's like a different seed every time. There's also another
one thing, Aiden. Speaking of poker, Aiden did lose to One Eye Willie. Went to watch the college football game up there. Ended up getting some poker on, just the four of us, me, Aiden, and his parents. And One Eye Willie won, dude. I could barely even see what cards I had. I still put the smack down, so pretty stoked,
Yeah, he won. I will say I got unlucky. He did beat me fair and square, but I think I had 17 losing hands in a row. It was like at the end we had like similar piles, and we were like, okay, let's just up the blind every round because at that point it was getting late. and we did it, and I just kept matching him on everything, and I've had 17 losing hands in a row. It was not my night. He did beat me. I could have played that a lot smarter, but I was tired, and he got the better of me.
Sure.
You were
Other
tired
than
at nighttime?
yeah, I know. I actually
Huh?
was. Actually, at that point, I got up at 5 in the morning that day, and I only slept 3 hours. So I'd literally been up for
Oh.
like 20 hours on 3 hours of sleep. So I was like falling over.
Yeah, so I allegedly took advantage of him in poker.
Allegedly. But he beat me fair and square. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. Oh, we did. Me and CJ did go to a Pokemon show. Probably not the best financial decision for me, but we went to a Pokemon show a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week?
Last weekend, because it was the weekend my eye started acting up really bad. it was then for sure
Yeah.
last week.
We went to a Pokemon show.
That-
I spent money. Not good. Short.
I imagine
made-
I imagine going to that Pokemon shows while you came back feeling I got pink eye, man.
Dude, I thought it was because I made like 5 deals, shaking hands, touching other people's stuff, and then I had a basketball game. It was the opening day for basketball as well, so I gave out so many hugs and high fives to a bunch of kids I haven't seen in a while. So I totally was like,
Ugh.
"Oh, dude, I got pink eye for sure." And yeah, it wasn't pink eye somehow, some way. So
Long story short, he gave a bunch of kids pink eye. Let's move on.
PSA: wash your hands, kids.
Yeah, wash your
good
hands. You
lesson.
could run into a freak like CJ up here.
It's possible. It is possible.
Other than those games I mentioned, I've been playing our current game of the week a good bit. But other than that, I really have not been gaming all that much. Well, we kind of got our little overview done with. Let's move on to some questions. We've been doing some questions. I hope you guys have thought of some because I thought of one one small one. So I'll throw it out here. Here's my question of the week. It's another. You guys know me. I like animal-based questions. This is another animal-based question. What is the biggest animal that you think you could kill in a fight? Give me some
Is
time to
this
think about it.
barehanded? Do I get weapons? Give me some parameters here.
Barehanded. Let's assume, and let's assume you're in their territory for. Actually, let's assume you're in an equal territory. So, like, if it's a shark, maybe you wouldn't be like in the middle of the ocean. Maybe you'd be in like 3 foot of water, like 4 foot of water, something like that. Like a
That's a lot of
neutral
water
zone,
for
not
somebody my size, man. That's not very neutral at
for
all.
CJ, he couldn't touch in that water, but for most people, they could touch. So a neutral zone, no weapons. The shark doesn't have a weapon either. You're just going at it.
But I don't have to hunt it. I have to fight it.
You have to fight it, unless you guys, and he's coming after you, so he's not just going to run away. You guys,
Okay.
the animal will be coming after you. So even if it's a dormant, even if it's like I'm not saying pandas are dormant, but say like there's a dormant panda, and you think you can beat it, he has to be coming after you too.
Okay.
So I can't like fight a Snorlax though, right?
No, I think you might get fucked up by a Snorlax, but if you wanted to, but
Wait till the Snorlax use earthquake, bro. It's over.
Well,
Hyper
I'm
beam
trying
will
to
take you
trying to get in there before it wakes up. But okay. PJ, you want to jump or you want me to go?
out. I'm thinking probably like maybe a sea turtle. I think I could kick a sea turtle's ass with my bare hands. They get
Okay.
pretty big. But we're talking like for me, we got to tone it down to like a foot of water. Foot and a half of water. So I think if I could get on top of a sea turtle, am I going to crack the shell? No. So I think I could hurt it there. But if it's neutral, there's going to be a little bit of land too. A little land and sea kind of thing going on.
you got to think like a foot and a half is still going to be up to your neck, so you got you got to put.
Well, I'm thinking, dude, let me get a hold of. I'm pretty sure, like all jokes aside, I think if I tugged on a fin a few times, I'm gonna be able to rip it limb for limb. You know what I mean? And I don't think sea turtles can really. I don't think they got a chomp like a snapper, or
I'll
maybe
give you that.
I think probably that, or maybe one of them big rabbits. But I'd really have to be like amped up because those big rabbits really scare me. So
You're selling yourself. I feel like you're selling yourself short here.
you think so? All right, maybe.
I think so.
Maybe let me
The sea
think.
turtle's not that big. Like what is this? It's like this.
They
Like
get
they're
pretty
don't get me wrong,
big.
they're big, but they're not like they're the size of like I can't even think of something equivalent. Like a large tire. Like
Yeah, I buy
Like,
that.
not a tractor
Good.
tiger, but like a little smaller,
Truck,
like an
truck
18
tire.
tire.
Re-
Yeah, truck
A,
tire,
a
something like
redneck
that.
tire. Yeah, redneck tire all
Yeah,
A
day.
redneck,
redneck
a
tire.
redneck tire.
Well, maybe if maybe you all have something that'll make me rethink, but I think that's probably the size. Maybe like a Komodo dragon, decent size. I don't think they're. I don't know. Maybe. See, I feel like a Komodo dragon would be kind of hard to kill with my bare hands. That's kind of. I guess I'm not.
Well,
I'm thinking I'm just like choking instead of like beating the shit out of it. I guess. And
well, that's
maybe with my bare hands, I could beat a lizard.
let's roll that direction because, like I say, I came to the conclusion. One, I don't want to fight anything with a claw.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to lose on that, or at least bleed profusely, and then that's just going to go bad. I'm pointing more to the idea of something with a hoof. So now I'm thinking, horses are huge, camels are big. Let's step it down a little bit. It's like definitely go near a moose or elk. Even are kind of big. So I'm just going to go with your North American deer.
Yeah.
I do believe it
Prefer
has
to
the power. Definitely to kick the shit out of me. But I'm thinking if I can get it in like a rear chin lock kind of straight like that and just drag it down and choke the shit out of it, that's a good possibility, I think, as a way to overcome and take this. And I size wise, I think, like I said, they're what, 150 pounds, 200 pounds maybe on a bigger one pending.
Yeah.
A deer? You said a deer?
North American deer, yeah.
North American, like a whitetail?
Whitetail.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably
I would even
say
think like
I
even
say
like a
150
male
is
would be.
probably a smaller, a little bit smaller. Not small, not small as in small, but like if we're talking about the average male. 150 is probably average. I'd say that's what I'd guess.
Young buck or I believe that neighborhood. Like I said,
Average
even at
male is
200, even at 200, I think, like I say, it's
Genius.
with the rack and all that. I know, like I said, that's the thing I have to watch out for at that point. And I think, like I said, if I get it, you gotta sweep around behind it, get it in a rear chokehold. I'd bring it down. I got enough in me to still choke it out. But
I have
I
faith
think
in
I
you.
got, I got a good answer. I came up with something even better.
Okay, he's changing his answer. What do you got?
I am. Larry, I think that was a good one. I was kind of leaning that way, but I looked up large, weak ass animals, and I think one I could take down, dude, I think a manatee, I think I could take one down. If we're in a neutral ground, I mean, what's a neutral ground for a manatee? You know, they're pretty fucking big. I mean, you can't really put me in 5 feet of water. That's not neutral at all for me. That's fucked. You know, that's a lot of water. I think it says they're really docile in nature. They're non-aggressive. So I mean, basically, I'm gonna beat up this poor fat motherfucker, 3,500 pounds, 10, like 13 feet long. And I have to beat it, and it's just gonna look at me with its sad eyes until eventually I pound enough to kill it. I think that's what it's gonna have to be.
wow,
Found in a
Okay.
manatee. Okay, I did not expect that answer.
I mean,
I'm actually
they're just gonna look at me like a sad fat dog, you know? Like I think I could take down a
sad
manatee.
fat. Just gonna beat it to a pulp. You got to think. It's not. They're not. They're coming after you too. So even though they're normally docile, it's not just a sad fat dog.
You fucking suck on me, like I
It's a
mean,
pissed
Don't they
off
got?
fat dog.
They
But
got some type of teeth. They could
I
crush you.
that probably could. Oh shit, they do, dude. They got some
Dude,
fucking grass chompers.
They got. I'm pretty sure they got some chompers and they're fat as hell.
Dude, I'm fucked. I'm dead. It's gonna be me and a manatee, both of us like beached animals in a foot of water, and it's just killing me. Like,
I mean, if nothing else, I guess you have the possibility of going it's a vegan, so you
Yeah.
might be able to do that.
if not, I'll go with the sheep. I'll beat a sheep's ass. Fuck a sheep.
Yeah.
That might be
He
better.
did it. He already said it. Damn
You
it.
can
It's
fuck
already
sheep's
there.
ass. Fuck a sheep's
That
ass.
dude's-
I got an easier. I'm kind of leaning with CJ what he's going, but I have an even bigger animal that's in the ocean. So even playing field, so probably water up to my chest. I'm going with
Your
an
How
ocean
big is the
sunfish.
camera? Okay, that's
I'm
pretty.
good.
Yeah, it's
An
good
ocean
pick.
sunfish.
They get huge.
No, you're saying good fish. You're like, oh no, you can
Yeah,
get hundreds of pounds, bro. They
yeah,
can
I'm
get
saying
like
no.
5,000 pounds.
Good pick.
They-
Yeah, I guess
but they're
that's a
also
good.
retarded. Excuse my French. they're like so like they kind of just float in the ocean. They can barely swim. Like they have something on their skin. Literally, they're defending themselves is just letting themselves get bit. It's like
I
Yeah,
thought, yeah, I thought
yeah,
I'd
they
seen
look like
something
a
about
rock.
that the other day. They actually like it was sitting there just floating around like and something had like
yeah, literally
eaten
they
the
just
fucking top of its head off.
yeah. They just let themselves get eaten, and they just float around because they can't really swim.
I think that's a good pick.
I mean,
Like
That's a
they
really
get
good pick.
they get like 5,000 pounds. So I would probably have a little tough time. But you got to think this guy is like he's coming at me 1 mile per hour. He can barely swim. He doesn't really have a mouth he can bite me with that much. It's like I
Might
think I could
suck
take
on
him
you a
down.
little bit. I don't know. Wait till it
He
sucks
can
and gets
suck on
your
me a
arm
little bit.
to like might rip your arm from socket just by trying to eat it. Like just
My biggest competition here. I think I would have to like go for his belly or something. But just doing damage to it would be the most difficult part.
hey,
I'll
dude,
have
you're
to
gonna
go
be
for
wanting to hang
belly.
out.
I would have to go for reproductive organs where it's soft. I would have to go for eyes. I'd have to explore my options here, but it's really
Crevice
just a
sticks,
free game.
crevice sticks.
so well, this question of the week's been brought to you by PETA. Um,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful bread that you can put any of these animals that we destroyed on after we're done killing them and eating them. Back to you,
not
Aiden.
exactly a vegan-friendly question of the week. Do we have any more questions? Because I could not think of one.
I had such
I
a good one, man. I just don't remember. Pretty
I thought
pissed.
somewhere I had one wrote down, but who the hell writes shit down and keeps it anymore in life?
That's the issue. I
So
can't remember it.
No
I can come
questions.
up with one if you want one. I mean, if you want to keep the animal subject going, if you could be any one animal, what would it be?
If I could be any one animal,
Yep.
there you
Instead
go.
of what you are now, you just
bro. Honestly,
somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I'm changing you forever into this animal for its lifespan. What do you pick? What's your answer?"
do I get to pick where I am at that animal, as that animal?
I suppose. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Won't be mad at that. Yeah.
I would pick one of the medium-sized smart dog breeds as a rich family's pet. That's what I would pick. So I'd get that nice food. I get to sleep all day. Get a big ass backyard I can run in and chase all
So
the birds and animals I want.
you got the chance to do anything in life, and you pick just being yourself. Like I don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Oh, dogs don't gotta
Okay.
work, bro. Especially a rich dog. He definitely don't gotta work.
Name an animal that does.
You gotta root for
Dogs
your.
are working
Oh,
animals.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
that's a
you
bad statement. As I
everyone
said
gotta
it.
work for the
Yeah.
everyone gotta work for their food, but dogs don't. They just gotta like give me my food, master. Like that's it. Just give me my food. I just have to eat and play. That's all I have. That's my responsibilities: eating and playing. Like what?
Stand up
So
straight and don't bite anybody when they play with your balls. There you go.
Yeah, and when they say sit, all I do is sit. Like that's easy as hell. Like I could do that in my sleep.
I could do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
you think that's cool? Watch this. You ever seen somebody open a Pokemon pet? What about you, Larry?
I might.
Excuse me. I don't know. I at first I was thinking about a Asian elephant, only because generally Asian elephants are treated to a point of almost like godliness, royal. Most countries in Asia, you don't fuck with the elephants unless you're a poacher. Then you basically enslave these bastards and steal their stuff. Um, Aiden got me thinking on it though. I was like, what could have a better life than a dog? And at this point in
Yeah.
time, I'm gonna go with a rich spoiled cat.
There you go.
Because then you definitely
As
don't have to do shit, lay around and get fed, the best of the best food, and
You gotta
have
think.
your.
Also, cats borderline have superpowers. Like they can run super fast or super agile. Imagine being able to just jump, like on things like 10 times a bit taller than you. Like I could just jump up there. Like borderline superpowers. It would be so cool to have like the agility of a cat.
I truthfully believe the guy that came up with parkour was sitting there hitting a blunt one day while he's not skateboarding and be like, "Man, watch that cat over there! Oh, whoa, I could,
Probably.
like shit fell down that wall. Oh, it landed, and made it, man. Oh shit, oh."
Unless you're CJ's cat, then not very agile.
yeah, no, not at all. It's not my cat. It's not my cat. Um,
Don't put that on me.
yeah. Well, now you guys got me fucked up because I think you guys both have really good answers. I think I would say dog because I like dogs, but keep it interesting, I'd either be a chimpanzee because you can pretty much just be yourself still, except with like no consequences at all. You can just totally be a jackass version of yourself all day, 24/7. It's like, dude, how funny would it be if I slung this shit at that guy and you just do it? You know what I mean? So that'd be pretty cool. Or maybe a cow. I think cows, they just kind of don't do shit, just walk around and kind of intimidate people. As long as I don't become a steak, I think I'm fine. Walk around in a free roam cow.
You're gonna
Walk
become
around
a
with all my
steak.
buddies.
Yeah. Very, very likely. The more free you roam, more likely your ass is going to be a steak.
Yeah, fair. That might be very true. But
At
the
least
funny
you'll
part
be
is,
eaten
I was
by one of
thinking
our rich owners.
Yeah.
maybe fed to one of you. Yeah, I was thinking about a local farm around here. Ironically, when I thought about, man, I could be one of them cows. Forgot that they totally have like their own, meat business and stuff. So yeah,
They get slaughtered.
Uh-huh.
We can agree though, the worst animal to be would be something in the ocean.
yeah.
Like imagine it's deeply in the ocean, or just being, especially being one of like not the main predators. You just like you don't have eyes. You can't even like turn around that fast. You just all of a sudden get eaten. Like you don't
Just
even
look
see it.
this way
It's
and
like,
then look this way, like
oh, how you doing, Larry? Just get eaten instantly.
like that. I could be that shrimp from Fish Tales or whatever. No, he had a baby, and then it was my baby, and we took care of the baby. I could be that little shrimp, dude. Be all right.
And I think CJ also somehow managed to pick one of the worst things you can be too. An animal grown up to eat the same thing every day just to eventually be slaughtered and eaten. Like that's what CJ wants to be.
It's the goddamn honest life I live.
It's good.
It's honest work.
It's a living. It's a living.
Yeah.
I'm putting the work in, damn it.
Yeah.
Not on this
But I mean,
grass and puking it up and doing it
I'd
again.
pick to be like Texas's mascot or something. Maybe that'd be cool. I get to just go to game day and just sometimes scare some people and kind of go a little ape shit, you know? Like,
You know they eat that son of a bitch at the end of the year, right?
bad season, cook the cow.
They're fucking Texans, man. It's like, you did good. Way to go, horny. Kill that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, just to touch on it, after our questions, we got a crazy current event happened recently.
Mm-mm.
You guys know what I'm about to say? What crazy current event happened recently?
I had a
9/11.
pretty good bowel movement.
Exactly. So today, Larry had a great bowel movement. Let's talk about that. No, it involves somebody getting shot. You know what I'm...
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Go ahead.
Larry, do you not know about this?
Oh, I know about this. I just didn't know
Okay,
that's where you were
pretty good.
going with this.
I didn't
I was just
either.
curious. It's like one of the most major events right now. I'll just touch on major and current events, especially since we're posting this recently. What's your guys' opinion on that Charlie Kirk assassination? I assume our opinions are not going to differ all that much.
Political pod going wild. I'll come out and say my opinion. I just don't like that people die.
Fuck
Maybe-
them!
I don't like when
Well, it was
people
great,
die.
guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I really got. Is I don't really like to see people die, so I don't really hate them or love them. Don't like them, kind of like them. However you felt, kind of hate seeing somebody die, especially in a violent public nature kind of thing. I understand, some other stuff that didn't get as much media, which is also just as sad. I don't like people dying. That's just not really my. I don't know. I don't like anybody dying. I think it's all sad. So that's just how I feel about it. Rest in peace to everybody.
Fair.
Um,
I think our opinions aren't going to differ all that much unless Larry has a hot take here.
I don't have that much of a hot take. I think I'm on that level of sensibility of we all have a time to come, but I do find it horrific that because somebody sees something differently than someone else that they choose that they just need to end your life, and they might be able to justify it, which I think is something that's weird. I can justify why I'd kill you or you would kill me or whatever, but the fact that we have differentiating opinions should never be any sort of justification for it. I don't agree with stuff, and I think we've collectively had arguments here, off pod, of course, about things and how we feel about it. But the idea of taking anyone's life because that's barbaric and uncivilized. And I mean, I just I feel for his family. I feel for his wife. I feel for actually the trauma of everybody who had to witness that. I've watched the video. I've seen it. It's out there. You don't want to see that shit. And
I didn't
I don't
look
think
at
it
it.
should happen to anyone. It's
I don't do
you
that.
just don't.
There's a quote. There's a quote I saw. It's like, "Be careful what you lay your eyes upon. You can never truly unsee something." I try to stay
Mhm.
away. I can't do like the violence. Like on Twitter, it's just full of it. Like people just getting shot, people's head getting cut off. I'm like, why are you watching that? Like, why do you want to watch
It's
that?
fucked up.
Yeah,
It's messed up that it's out there, and it's to some people that's the thing that they want to see. I mean, I I, I didn't seek it out. I was talking to somebody, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't see that?" And I mean, just puts it right in my face. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, thank you. I didn't fucking really need that, but appreciate that. Thanks, asshole."
Yeah. Same way I saw it. Yeah, literally.
yeah. Like I said, I feel like we're all gonna have similar opinions on this. It's just a kind of an insane major event that happened recently, and we actually have a current episode that's going to be posted right after recording. But yeah, I agree. Everything is perspective based. If you have a perspective that somebody is spouting evil nonsense, just know that people on the opposite side think that you're spouting evil nonsense. But that doesn't mean they should have justification to kill you. I feel like it's just a matter of perspective. You definitely should not kill someone because of their perspective. You know what I mean? Not that complicated here, guys, and it really
Well,
shouldn't be.
I think, now, like I say, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I'll at least throw two more pieces into this. One, the ability to have the arguments, I think, is one of the great things that makes us Americans, is the ability to have arguments,
Hmm.
but to be civilized enough to work through them. Um, but on the other side of it too, it's just, I guess what perplexes me as the old guy in this, I've seen so many different news things and all that. A guy who is niche, truthfully, to either a young group of folks or even a certain side of politics, why is it so big? Um, why is it being treated as such a massive news story? That's what gets me kind of curious. I'm not doubting it, but on the same
I
token,
think
a couple weeks ago, a girl got killed on a subway. The big news was that was because nobody talked about it for almost fucking 3 weeks. This happens almost instantly, and it completely takes over the news cycle. And my experience has either said one of two things: there's something coming with this or behind this, or here, look at this because I'm doing something back here. One of these two things is transpiring around us. We're not catching it yet, but I guarantee you by the end of season 2, somewhere we'll figure it out, or it'll happen. We still didn't know that it transpired.
I will say, I think Larry you might have not been familiar with Charlie Kirk, but he was probably the biggest influencer on the right, like by far. Like he was insanely popular. Like he on his tour, like Turning Point USA, I think it was called. Like he was racking up hundreds of millions of dollars. Like he was like incredibly famous, especially on social media. But I do agree. I'm politically neutral, and I'm not politically talking on the podcast. But I do see some people kind of using this to motivate some type of agenda or more violence, saying this means war and stuff like that. I feel like that's also not good. uh,
No,
no. I just think there's some crazy guy. He doesn't represent, even if he was left or right, he doesn't represent the right. He's just a crazy guy. Just like there's some crazy guys on both sides. This person should be thrown in jail forever. That's how it goes. Uh, like I said, I'm pretty sure we all have similar views on this situation.
agree.
Agree. Well, VGR podcast fam, great segue. VGR podcast, the game of the week, Final Fantasy on the NES. Great game here. Release date on December 18th, 1987 in Japan, but 3 years later in North America at 1990. Developer was Square, and the publisher was Square for Japan, but in North America 3 years later Nintendo published it. It's an RPG for sure. It's a turn-based RPG. Players control four adventurers known as the Warriors of Light. Each character represents a chosen class. There's about, I think, like 6 or 7 different classes. The story begins a hero carrying darkened element crystals destined to restore the balance of the world. The premise revolves around a prophecy that foresees 4 heroes will rise and banish darkness. Guided by this fate, the Warriors of Light set out to defeat 4 powerful elemental fiends: the Licht, the Merilith, the Kraken, and the Tiamat, who have corrupted the forces of earth, fire, water, and the wind. The objective is restore the light crystals, defeat the looping villains of chaos, and save the world from elemental destruction. Great game. I actually played this game probably more than any other game that we've had, even though this is kind of like a postseason on the whim thing. This isn't a scheduled game. I enjoyed it personally. Larry, what were your first impressions of Final Fantasy on the NES?
Okay. Well, let's go with story time. Larry, little Larry, I guess however old you be in 6th grade, which that puts you about 10 years old? Is that about
A
right?
little
Yeah,
bit older.
maybe.
Maybe a little older.
10, 11.
I think 11, 12, yeah. Something like
Okay. Perfectly fine. But either way, I was in 6th grade. I went to a private school, not in the public. And there's only 5 kids in my 6th grade. And that year, I got chose to go to the math field day, which is, for those who may or may not know, basically is a math competition through all this. I didn't belong there, but they need to send a representative from our school to do it because the other kid, actually one of my good friends, Brian, who went and did deserve to be there, he went in representation through the actual public school. That's a whole other
Okay.
story. But either way, I got to go. I went. I sucked. Had a good time. Did terrible. But my dad came and picked me up, and we left there, and we went to, I'm going to say, I think it was an Ames or something. It was just a general, before we had Walmart.
Yeah.
Went to the place where you bought video games. He took me there and he said, "Get whatever game you want. You earned it." Cried so much. But I went in there that day. I looked around, and I picked Final Fantasy, which at the time was full price, $55 off the shelf. And I said, "Can I get this?" And he said, "Sure." So, one, I think is the only time he ever bought me a full price video game, not for a birthday or a holiday or anything like that. And I went home with it that day and probably wasted so much of my life from that day forward playing this game. I even more so remember I got to the end of this game as a kid, and I only got that because I was also purchased the manual, which these are books for you young guys. They used to be able to sell you books that cost $15 extra that told you how to beat this fucking game instead of looking it up on a computer because internet didn't exist at that time. But I did get to the point where you've seen the last boss and all that. I just didn't grind or play long enough to ever do it. So as a kid, no, I never beat this game. But man, it's a very good role playing game, and I gave so much time and life to this that it's a very happy memory. And I was happy on the little kid side of me when Aiden said, "I want to play Final Fantasy for this." So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, cool." And the whole time I'm like giddy as a little girl, so I'm very happy to play it, and I do like this game very much myself.
Yeah, I totally agree. First impression of this game, I just heard Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy. That seems like a popular franchise. Let's try it out, the NES version. And truthfully, I didn't expect to have this much of a good time on it. I couldn't have told. It could have been a platformer side scroller for all I know. I had absolutely zero knowledge about what this could have been, and I had a great time. We'll get into the nitty gritty of it, but personally, first impressions, definitely. Oh, and I think this probably is one of the games, since it's like an actual very very long game, and it has so much replayability with the different paths you can take. You can grind the different weapons, the different classes. I'd say this is probably, when it came out, like compared to all the other NES games, this is the most bang for your buck game I feel like you could get, like as a kid. Like I can
Okay.
genuinely other games I can say, oh, you can get like a days out of this or more. I can generally see like if you played this game like every day for some time, genuinely could get months out of this game. Like, and there's replayability. You could try different classes, use different weapons, go different routes. Like I could like just has so much content to it for an NES game. I did not expect it whatsoever. CJ, do you have any information to give to the VGR fam, and what were your impressions of the game?
Oh yeah, I mean, for some reason, it's just making my eye hurt. When I first loaded it up. No, I at least do have some first impressions. I do actually remember. It's kind of in a weird nostalgia timeline because when I first loaded it up recently, it reminded me that when we kind of all started this, and I was kind of sifting through games, I might have sat down and played 25 minutes of it, kind of thing. Because I honestly, I wouldn't have known that Final Fantasy the first load up was like what it was. I didn't really know what to expect, but I mean, see Final Fantasy and I see NES, and it just I'm kind of looking at it like I don't know how's that possible. It's like looking at me and saying, NBA 2K NES. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that's that possible. Like, what could it possibly look like? So, definitely for my fantasy woes didn't really get sowed, I don't think, from the initial jump in, but I'm also a long time World of Warcraft player, so it's, when I'm thinking role playing fantasy game, I've had a lot of nice things. It's like if I've only eaten 5-star restaurants and I'm like, oh well, let me try something that kind of made this 5-star restaurant possible. I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much. So first glance, I'm kind of looking at it and a little overwhelmed. I felt like there was a lot in front of me without a lot of information. I walked in a lot of buildings and read some stuff and kind of felt like, okay, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing, but definitely a lot slapped in front of you from the jump. I will say that, but I do kind of like your little posse that you got to pick through. It's kind of badass to me. Can't think of it, but I want to say there's probably something in the PS2 timeline that I had played previous in my life that was kind of similar, in posse gathering kind of things, but definitely different different look at anything I've played in this genre. That's for sure. I'll say that much.
And we will say, take CJ's opinion with a grain of salt on this. He didn't
Oh
give
yeah. Oh
he was
yeah.
really busy throughout the week. He had some medical issues. He didn't get to give it the full experience. We'll just say the least. Didn't get to fully experience it, but did have a first impression. But I will say, I'm surprised about you saying there's a lot in front of you as a WoW player. I'm like, when you were first teaching me WoW, I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell is going on? There's about
Yeah.
1,000 buttons going on.
I think the lack
I
of 3Dness helps me or loses me on there's a lot in front of me without me being able to figure out what I'm looking at first. So it kind of takes me for a jump.
well, the overwhelmingness I think will be justified because you said that and I was like, we forgot again the old NES game, and I even forgot to tell you my story. First thing you do is you open the box and you got a book. You got something that. Anybody want to take a guess at how many pages the manual of this game is?
77, my guess.
I would guess probably like 60.
Closest without going over, CJ. This book has
Oh
80
yes.
pages,
Damn.
Damn, that is
and
insane, man.
up till 79, you're still hitting information. Page 80 is an index. The very last page on the cover is your warranty and compliance stuff.
But I will say,
Wow.
I'd rather have a game that like I'm looking and there's a lot to it, rather than something I know as soon as I can look at it and I paid $60 for it.
That's valid. That's very valid.
Well, there's so much information, so many variables, like you said. Just and also at the time, RPGs were still new to a lot of people in America. Um, they weren't a big thing. Nintendo tried for years to make it a thing because Japan has all kinds of them. Some of the ones even here, Dragon Warrior, Ultima, Might and Magic. I think that's an American one, but I personally, like I said, being a computer kid, I have played RPGs for a while at this point, which Dungeons and Dragons and those kind of things would fall in that fantasy realm of it as well. But for a lot of American kids, my friends at the time, like say, a handful of them, like say Brian, the guy who I went to the math field day with, he probably enjoyed it. but a lot of the guys I grew up with, where we were playing Mario and Zelda and all that stuff. Zelda even kind of falls into RPG, but feels a lot different than this. They just, because there's not much action as there is, jumping, moving, dodging. A lot of people found it hard to get into because they wouldn't give it a fair shot because it's not all exciting. But like I say, 80 pages of book, damn, you get some learn on, and there was a map too.
Yeah, you're getting some bang for your buck. And I did learn. I had to look it up, but you can't access your map. You have to hold B and then hit select, and it'll pull up your map, which I didn't know at my first 3 hours of playing. I did not know.
Probably says that in the manual, I'd say.
Probably.
It might, but I mean, I know, like I say, it came with a big old huge 2x3 map that you can pull out and look at and all that. Better detail, of course. It's just, this game felt so huge. So huge.
It is a huge game, truly. A little side question here and off the main track, but what characters were in your guys' party? What was the squad you were running with?
Yeah. Well, I didn't run very far, but I went fighter, thief, white mage, and red mage. Had to have a thief in there. Fighter was the first one I saw, and then I thought the white and red mages looked cool. That's what I went with.
Pretty good. That's not too shabby. I will say I have a little complicated. I first started out with a fighter, thief, white mage, and then black mage. But that was when I first started out with, and I played, and I had a lot of trouble. I played for about 4 hours. I was kind of getting fucked up. My mages weren't very tanky, and my thief was a little tanky, but the only one that was tanky was my fighter. So I kept getting fucked up, and I was at Larry, you'll know the place where you fight the pirate. Like that was like where I was at after like 4 hours of playing. And I saved, and I was at work while I was playing. I was like, oh, I'm going to do something for work. But I didn't save properly on the device I was playing it on. And when I loaded it back up, it was all gone. All the 4 hours were gone. But to get back to where I wanted, it only took about 30 minutes because I already knew the route. I knew what to do. And I chose a much better class. I ended up going 3 fighters and 1 red mage, which
I heard that's meta.
It's meta. It's pretty meta, it's so good. I asked ChatGPT to give me a bunch of different classes. And the first one it gave me was the one I first used, and I was like, okay, this sucks, and I went with a different one. But it's because the 3 fighters can all use, I think it's the rapier, like the first weapon that's like $10 or 10 gil, maybe, or something. And it's like the red mage and all 3 fighters can use it, and all 3 fighters. So you can get a rapier for your whole party, and 3 of your fighters can get armor just from the starting, just from like when you load up. So it's definitely a lot more tanky. It's a lot more easier to get into that. So yeah, that was my in-game party: 3 fighters, 1 red mage. What'd you go with, Larry?
I'm not as classic as you guys, but it's still the same one I remember playing back in the day. Have to have a fighter. Always got to have a fighter. I picked the black belt, and maybe it's the Asian in me. I need a kung fu guy, and then of course the white and the black mage. And even then, I think it was more of the idea of good and bad guy, just because of the classic white and black. But for those who don't know, the white's there for your health, and the black's for your attack. So I liked that was my setup then and pretty much now.
Did you say you had a fighter in there with your mages and black belt? Is that what you said?
Yeah, fighter, black belt, white mage, black mage. Now, I don't know if you picked this up anywhere, Aiden, in your plays or any of this stuff, but you were talking about getting weapons and doing all that. The black belt, what's cool about him is you can get him, like I said, nunchucks up front and give him a little armor. But once you get to about level 6 through 10, somewhere in there, you can start to just take that off because it doesn't matter anymore. And he actually will always double hit barehanded, and he doesn't need any armor because he's so fast he just dodges it.
Oh, that's
so
pretty
he
cool.
becomes like a cheap date, but he can still kick ass. As far as I got into, like I say, he averages up until I started getting like ice swords and all the big heavy swords. He was keeping right up with the fighter barehanded.
Oh yeah, I had I like 3 fighter for the tank, and I was worried about that. I was like, man, I was the white mage or or the black mage. Both of them, white mage you can heal and use stuff. Black mage for damage, offensive magic. But the red mage has like a mix of both. You can use cure and you can use pure, but you can also use like lit and fire. You can use all the black magic attacks and you can use some basic white magic attacks too. So it's kind of a good mix there.
Do you have to like level up higher though to get some of those to work? Like to be able to pick them
Maybe
up, or is that
I didn't run into that, but that it also could have been I just when I went to the shop I was high enough level, but that could be the case. But I was able to buy black magic stuff pretty much throughout the game.
okay?
But I think I'd rocked with just pure for a while before I like he was just my healer pretty much. So yeah,
That's a
we
good way
got
to be there.
our party members down. The graphics. What do you think about the graphics? 1987 game right here. Larry, what do you think about the graphics here?
Um, on the surface, it seems basic. Little guy carrying around through a world where you see little people. You can tell that there are different types of people: boys, girls, wizards, elders. Um, very early on, you get into where you see elves and different things like that on the overworld map, if you will, inside this town maps. You get that fun little thing where your character's walking around and then there's three buildings and you walk into it and suddenly you're in this big giant city. So, the whole
Yeah.
distortion of size and stuff, that's always fun. But like I said, on the surface though, it seems very basic. But when you get into the fights, you see where they stepped it up. Because all of the enemies and even your characters are really, really detailed. Even for 8-bit Nintendo stuff. So I think graphic wise, it's if you don't look any further than just walking around, you're gonna be bored with it. But the deeper you get into this and the more enemies you see, the more you become very, very impressed very fast.
And I like how if you switch out the weapons, your character model will switch weapons too when they're fighting. That was a cool little
Yeah.
that's a cool little touch there.
As you mentioned, I do remember at one point I think I switched from the flame sword to the ice sword, and I did something wrong, and I'm like, why is my guy not like I'm sitting there like watching my fighter fight for a bit, and I realized, oh shit, he don't have his sword equipped. So I went through about 2 fights without a sword. It's like son of a bitch, about got killed.
Yeah.
So,
I think the graphics were for its time. Obviously, we have to consider for when it was released. I feel like the graphics were really good. It makes sense. Like the towns and stuff makes sense. I understood that. I understood everything the graphics were going for. There wasn't really anything that stood out as really bad to me. I'm really trying to think of something. I guess. I mean, I was kind of thinking like maybe the mob designs, but I think the mob designs were great.
yeah,
Actually, that was one of my more favorite things about the graphics were the mob designs. And that's also a great thing about this type of game, like this type of turn-based RPG, is since there isn't so much of like the bad guys are moving around everywhere, you can really focus on the art, and you don't have to worry about the mobs moving. So you can actually have really cool mobs in your fighting screen. But no, I think the graphics were great. I have nothing really wrong with it. See,
yeah,
think about the graphics.
yeah.
For some reason, dude, the left half of the screen was pretty blurry. I don't know why. It's playing into my eye stuff a little more. No, I think from what I saw and from what you all said, like I think the building's a really good way to do that. With the overhead kind of like you see that there's a building, you walk in and it expands. I think that's I guess there wasn't another way to do it at the time. I was gonna say this is the perfect way to do it at the time. But I like that a lot. It probably helped a lot, with the spacing too. Like you don't have to have this huge city like where you go into a little part of the city and you got a couple buildings. You don't have to have that all spread out in front of you. You just head into the little spot. It expands. I liked that a lot. I think that kind of does wonders for a game of this time. Hell, even like I know this little starting zone from what I can piece together and remember, like there is like the what 6, I want to say 3 and 3 on each side, and then the main building up top. I mean, it's perfect because you get the idea of it's kind of like the city with the castle, and you're leading up to it.
Yeah.
But like I said, going into it like that, I really liked, and I didn't get to experience as much of the fighting aspect. Had a couple little squabbles, but I didn't really notice like the my sword missing or anything. But I did like the way it shifted into it, and I did like that it still did have like battle animations and stuff too. I feel like it could have been something they cheaped out on, kind of going into a Dungeons and Dragon esque kind of thing. You just kind of imagine that you hit it, but still at least had a little animation and stuff in there. So from what I did see, I think it was done well for the time. Like I said, obviously I didn't see nearly as much as you all, but I think for the time that I did get an eye on it, pun intended, I think it did look a little prettier than kind of what I initially first thought when I initially opened the game back in a year ago when we first opened it or first started everything off. Like I said, when I opened it, I kind of like I don't think I'm gonna like this as much, but getting to fool around with it a little bit, I do like the way it's all kind of laid out a lot. So not too ugly, not too pretty.
I will say, in this game, because of how in depth it is and how different characters have different abilities, different weapons, did you guys have a specific attack pattern or strat you were going with each fight? And did it differ when there was like a big group of mobs or a horde? Larry, I know you're a seasoned veteran here. Did you have a particular strat you were working with?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. The fighter basically pick, sorry, you get the biggest guy out there. If not, you're still working with it. My kung fu guy, black belt, he was, he's getting the second biggest one because he's at it. The white mage, depending on what we got going on, of course. Uh, I don't know why, but my brain I always assumed it as a she. But she was basically, she was either to support the fighter in the attacking just to make sure, there's 2 or 3 extra hit points that need to come off. She was going to take care of it. And the black mage, of course, if it was a big group of them or as a big attack guy, break out the magic. If it's just a couple imps, just hit with you follow the black belt and we'll just tag them and work it out. So, and generally that was pretty much about my strategy through majority of where I got through. I do know when I last played through it, I'd gotten the as a heal staff, and you could use that basically instead of using a cure or heal spell or even that, you could just use it, and instead of my white mage doing anything, basically that's all every turn they were doing was just healing everybody 20 points at a time, which
Very
would
cool.
help stretch that out.
I kind of brute forced it a little bit. I had different strats for mobs, and for like mobs, I would use, this is like kind of mid slash late game. I would use either lit 2 or a little bit later I would use ice 2 or fire 3. Those, because once you get past level 3 magic, it would hit everybody instead of just one person. So for mobs, I would weaken everyone up with one of the AoE attacks, I guess it would be, and then I would have my fighters just one-on-one with everybody until they're all gone. That was pretty much my strat. And if I needed to, my my red mage would just be my little pocket mercy and just heal 24/7, heal all my people. Little Overwatch reference. But yeah, that was my strat. CJ, I assume you just you just brute forced it as well.
Oh yeah, I do think Aiden. I kind of liked what you were saying. I think that strats probably fits how I typically play. Anything in the fantasy world, I kind of go all out AOE, then single out some bigger targets, kind of thing. But more of what I did, I gave it a name so it sounds more official. The 2-and-2 method. 2 of you attack that one, 2 of you attack the next, and we'll dwindle them down and move target by target. It's kind of the only thing I really got rolling for me, but obviously a little more in depth. I probably would have leaned, like I said, something into the AOE method, AOE and brute force combination. So number 17 lunch special.
Yeah, that's kind of if I did. That's what I did if there's like 4 ogres or like 4 trolls or like 4 sharks. You would have to do the 2-on-2 method because usually one, if you just did spread it out all 4, you would take a lot more damage. So 2 people attack one guy, 2 people attack the second guy, and they both will die in two turns. So that's a good
I
strat
know.
later on with a lot of tankier enemies.
I know early on, when I wasn't real strong, didn't have a whole lot going on. I actually like the ogres. There's one grind spot you can hit early on to help get some levels going fast. But when you're like 1 through 6, you're just not really strong enough to really just manhandle them. If
No.
I got anywhere from like 3 or 4 ogres, fuck it, all 4 of us are attacking one. Because we got that point where if everybody hit, then very likely we're going to kill one of them. So there's one less attack coming at us next time. Still the possibility of 4 coming. So that was something
Yeah.
I played with a little bit too.
Oh, and later in the game, I had my main fighter, my main farter, and I forgot to mention, I got into the role playing aspect of it. I got pretty gay with it. I named all my guys like kind of like older character names. I had my fighters. It was Garm, Cade. It was Garm, Zarm, Cade, and I think his name was Fawn. I like looked it up and it was like an old name. And my mage's name was Ball, Ball, or Baal, Ball. It's like
Oh, man.
I don't know. It's something pretty just like some like ancient deity or something. Baal. But
Whoa.
Garm was my main guy. He was my main tank, and he got all the best gear. He got pro ring. He got everything, and he was You're distracting me here. Yeah, Garm was my main guy, and he was like if I need some big chunk damage done, Garm was my guy. Garm was kind of like my front header tank kind of guy.
Baal was an ancient Middle Eastern storm, rain, and fertility god. Oh yeah.
Here we go. I told you I got gay with it. I was,
With what you just said, Aiden, I'm going to ask you this curiosity of it. So when you got poisoned or you got turned to stone or something, it moved your group around.
Mhm.
Would shove them down or all that. You said Garm's like your main guy. Would you, after you got Garm cleared up out of his poison or just turned back to regular flesh, would you push him back to the top again, or did
Oh
you
yeah,
leave him
every
floating
time, every
wherever?
time, every time I'd push him
Okay.
back to the top, and I'd have once I got I think it was, I don't know if it was called this. It was the move where you make them faster. I would use that
Okay.
on when I got the spell. I think it's like a level 5 spell or 6 spell.
I
When I
think
got
it's
the
just
spell,
fast or something. Yeah.
yeah, it might just be fast. I just buff Garm, and he would just be a slayer. Garm the Slayer.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting real RPG with it. But how about the soundtrack? Soundtrack is not something that I feel like I focused on a ton, but it had this weird nostalgic feel to it, even though I'd never played the game. It's weird. Like I almost got nostalgia from it from a game I never played. But I mean the sounds were good to me when I went back and listened. They were like cute sounds. They weren't like rock and metal farting in your ear, which CJ likes to talk about. CJ has he's against the fart. These are more like cute RPG. Almost kind of reminds me of Pokemon esque soundtracks. But
Yep.
yeah, I like the soundtrack.
Dude took the
The
words out of my mouth, man. That's exactly how I felt. I was gonna say it. One thing I made sure to do was go pay some attention to all the soundtracks. Obviously, I didn't play far enough to hear them all. It felt very Pokemon esque. Definitely from Hell DS down, like it felt like every one of those games. That's where the nostalgia feeling I got the same one, and that's exactly what it's from. It feels like you're in a town in Pokemon. So no farts. 2 thumbs up. No farts.
Fart free, fart free soundtrack.
no gas today. Yeah, I don't disagree with you guys. Like I say, I know it's been there forever. It is almost like they groundwork the overworld, your battle sounds, the fanfare. I've pondered half a dozen times of trying to put it out, just have my voice, and it's like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen tonight. But um, that I know Aiden, you bring up a lot of times of iconic. I think that fanfare is iconic. Um, you could randomly play that somewhere at someplace where you're gonna have a high percentage of nerds, and they will know that was Final Fantasies. You just won a battle. Because I
That
think
that
even
might
the
have been what
later
it was. I
games.
just heard it like in like the cultural zeitgeist and like on TikTok or some random sound. And I didn't
Mhm.
put two and two together. That might be why it sounded so nostalgic for no reason.
Well, but like you said though, also it's like I say the fanfare. It's the fanfare, and like so you just know you're doing it because like I say they still do that. I think in current Final Fantasy, but the overworld ease, the underworld mysteriousness, the intensity of the battle. Those all play out, and they do play out just like Pokemon, which I know that's probably something you guys play a lot more, which basically is kind of built off of this. Or at least that's how I perceived Pokemon when I played it myself. I was like, oh, now this makes sense. Instead of little animals and balls and kids doing weird shit, it's like, oh, it's just Final Fantasy on a different plane is how I'd seen it.
Yeah.
Because I'd played this
good-
for 10 years before Pokemon.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities there. Even and actually, Pokemon or Final Fantasy has a trading card game as well. I see it at the stores in the card section because all the Pokemon is sold out, and sometimes Final Fantasy is left on the shelves there just because it isn't as Pokemon crazy as everyone is nowadays. It's not as popular. But we will get into your least favorite part of the game. This little subject here, I will say, I wrote down some things that I thought, and I'm gonna kind of pre give you guys a warning. This does not. I'm gonna have a lot of gripes because it's such a humongous game, and there's so much to it. And I played the most of it, so kind of like little things just annoy me. And not everything here isn't bad. It doesn't mean the game's bad or this is a bad part of the game. It is personal gripes I have with the game. I actually wrote them down. Number one, not 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 the biggest gripe here, but the NPC body block. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I'd be in town or the bats in caves and just body blocking me. And you guys know the more steps you take, like the amount of steps you take, the more often you get into a battle. So if I'm getting body blocked by bats, I'm going to run into a battle sooner, then I can't progress as fast. That was a major gripe. I mean, that'll probably design that way, but to infuriate you. And also, another least favorite game, any type of mob that would paralyze or stun you. Any type of group mob that would paralyze you was infuriating to play against. Like the Geists. I think that's what they're called. Like the Geists, the little kind of scientist dudes. They'd paralyze you, and there's 100 of them. Even though they don't do a ton of damage, they just paralyze you, and you're fighting with one fighter, and you have to wait till your other fighter wakes up to fight with him, and your other mage wakes up and you fight with him. It's just infuriating playing against that, especially early game when you don't have an AoE attack. It's so infuriating to play against. Larry, I'm gonna let you go. Then I have a couple gripes that I genuinely think are this is like a problem with the game.
Nice breakup.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Come back later for the rest of the story. I'll share the one that I think that I had as a young kid and the one I have as a 40-year-old man is the absurd amount of grinding. I know that in a lot of RPGs you have to do this to develop levels and all that, but it's like one of the last spots I got in this playthrough. It was recommended through a thing I was watching that you go from 15 to about 20, and it should only take you a half hour. Well, I spent hours in it, and that's literally like about as far as I got. I get you have to develop progression, but what's the progression if you're really just fighting the same thing over and over and over and over again, just so you can level up to a point to where you're not gonna get your ass completely handed to you by the next one. I like it better in the idea if I have to grind, I'm grinding because I choose to grind, only so that I can just straight lay out the next thing I fight instead of just being actual fight through them. So that's always been one of my biggest gripes about this game and this type of game. I do know for a fact that in remakes and reiterations of this particular game, they made that better, where the necessity for grind is not as heavy. But again, it's one of the older versions. We played the original version of this, and it's one of the things that come with RPGs of the time, which helped extend some of the life on it. And it wasn't awful. You can enjoy it. You get to see some more variety of all the characters or mobs that you don't see regularly. But after a while, it lays into you for like I'm an old guy. I played this for the last hour of my day, and it's kind of hard to want to play 2 hours when I'm doing the exact same thing for the last hour. So it's just like, I fall asleep in the middle of a fight and those kind of things. But outside of that, that's really about my only real gripe I have. I have some nitpicks the same. Like I totally forgot about the NPC body block just because therapy worked for me for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like that. But definitely just that grinding is just. I think that's even over time. That's why I've gotten away from uh playing a lot of RPGs because that grind just kills me. I can't handle doing it. But um, did you have anything in the little bit you were able to go through, CJ, that you wanted to give an opinion on?
I did have marked down that I kind of didn't really play enough to. I almost feel like I'd be an asshole to gripe about something when I didn't get to fully experience it. I will say the body block enraged me literally just from Gargoyle's Quest. When you said it, it pissed me off that it happens here. I thought it was happening, but I was like trying to be a little. Like I said, my eye was bothering me. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not waiting on this guy to move." It was just in the town. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go the other way." So now that I know, yes, it's a gripe, and I am allowed to put it. Other than that, one thing I've noticed in RPGs in general for me before is Larry. I think you put it in such a good way. It's like the reason I am grinding is to try to maybe be a little better, maybe beat you a little easier. But when you force me into a grind, like you said, when you have that hour to give it, and that hour was the same thing just on repeat, God, man, it just it drains you. You know what I mean? I've definitely been there, not in this game, but in other games, to where, like I've mentioned World of Warcraft a million times. It's my Elden Ring. Dude, it's been the same thing before, to where it's just it's I'm grinding out the same thing, daily quest kind of thing, just to try to get better, and it's like I'm not enjoying my 1 hour of grinding just to get my ass kicked again. It's something you do see in Pokemon as well. I know in the game Aiden and I both have that he stopped playing so much. You're basically you can go replay through the game with the same Pokemon that you own on a harder difficulty. Essentially, all the people that you normally would battle are amped up and stronger. There's like no bridge between post game and that first initial fight of the repeat of the story to get you to that point, and it's literally just been dog shit walking through mud grinding. So very similar fashion, I might give it 20 minutes and just be like, I don't want to do this for 2 hours to barely progress, just to not get my ass kicked and still barely squeak by. So
Yeah.
that part's extremely frustrating. But like I said, I can't at least say that I had that in this game. But I did hear that somebody I know has a few more gripes that they like to rant about. So I'd like to
A
ask them
couple more
about.
gripes. First, I'm going to
Alrighty.
touch on what Larry said. I think a little bit of the grinding issue is slightly suffering from success, just knowing where to go a little bit and kind of knowing what to do. And it does, like, if you go through like a path, you can definitely get to this area without leveling up. But for me, I used a guide in the way, like, I'd ask ChatGPT, like, give me an order of events, and it'd pretty much just say, like, go to Marsh Cave, give the king his crown. Like, it didn't like exactly tell you where to go. It kind of just gave you like ideas of what to do. And like, for instance, I had I'm not sure what the little village is called, but it's by the Earth Cave, and it's one of the first fiends. It's the first fiend that you fight. The Earth Cave. I struggled with that. I a lot of the times was make it to the second level, uh, before I could even make it to the third level down there, and I'd have to pop back up to the top and pop a house or go to the inn and reset. And I probably had to do that 3 or 4 more times, and that kind of just sets you up for success down the road, because having to go through that cave, especially that big ass cave with 3 levels so many different times. I mean, you
Yeah.
just naturally keep leveling up, and I had that with like several different caves and labyrinths. It definitely did set me up well. So I agree. Like, especially if you're someone that knows what they're doing, unlike me, it definitely there would need to be some grinding, because there's no way, like, if you naturally make it to the water area to fight the water fiend, and like you're level 15, you're not beating that. Like, it's impossible unless you do some type of glitch or something. Like, you can't beat that. You would have to do some grinding, and I can totally get that being
Well,
a pain in the ass.
I just want to slowly kind of not counter, but at least throw a little bit back
Hmm.
at you on that. I think games and Super Mario Brothers does it well as these are the things you should expect. Build on it, keep going. This one here, in the very beginning, you talk to the king, you find all your stuff, to get all your shit together, you go on your adventure, and you go into a cave, you fight Garland. Now, in the natural progression of the game, going from there to Garland it may take a couple of, if you're well enough, you can get in, get out, get yourself healed up, repeat. This natural progression will allow you to level up far enough to beat Garland, and then progress through the game, start to into the real adventure. But I think at that point, and like I say, you make a good point on the idea that, if you start to search for stuff, it helps do it. But I still think you have to hit grind to at least get a couple more levels to where you want to be, where it's not a every last moment struggle to win against your first fiend, against your next fiend. Because even with some of the grinding I've done, I'm lucky to make it through. So it's
I 100%, and I think that gripe is 100% valid. It also could be like the developer was thinking like this person's gonna have no clue what to do and gonna be playing this game for months, so they're gonna be leveled up. That
true.
it could be that aspect, but I 100% agree that the level grinding, as you said, it gets fixed like in the later Final Fantasies. So obviously they saw a problem with it and definitely a pain in the ass. Now here are a couple things that I definitely think is just an issue with the game. Number one, being turned to stone. That's an issue with the game that needs to have an easier solution. It needs to, if you sleep in an inn, you fix it, or you can consider them dead and get them revived. Because CJ, you don't know this, but there's a couple mobs in the game that will turn you to stone, and you cannot heal your player, and they are turned to stone. They can't do anything until you go to a certain castle on the map and get something, or with magic, which you get as well, and get
There's
something that
actually
can unturn you to stone.
there's actually a potion called Soft that would
Yeah,
fix that.
soft. No, yeah, that's what I'm talking
But
about.
you still have to buy or purchase that, and
Yeah, but you have to purchase
um,
that. But me, like it's by the Marsh Cave. I think it's called Elfheim is the place. Like I'm not buying soft potions, so I'm at the very top of the map in the bottom of a cave, and half my party gets turned to stone, and I don't have a soft potion because I've never played the game before. I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do? I mean,
That's rough.
there should be a little bit more exceptions or some wording or something, or maybe you're automatically giving one soft potion or something just to like
I think it should be
it's
available, like you say there. Find it in a treasure chest, and there's like this Soft. What the hell's this going to do?
yeah, like something in that specific cave where the mob spawns.
Fair.
Uh, and number two, this is also an issue that I looked it up and it said it's fixed later. Is not being able to delete spells. I didn't know
Mm.
if you get 3 of one level spell, like I think it was a level 3 spell. I just bought them because I had extra money. I'm like whatever, and you can't delete them, and you can only have 3 spells. So I had like a couple other important spells that I just couldn't get because I had a couple I had a couple other important spells that I just couldn't get because I couldn't delete them.
Yeah,
CJ's
and
messing with
that's
the floater here. Just did something that threw me off guard.
it caught me too. But it I think with that, even it's maybe it's because I played with the white mage and the black mage on you. Um, because I'm only gonna get white spells on this one and black spells on that one. You with playing with the red, you've got to make even a better choice on it. So yeah, I can see that, but removing them, forgetting them, that should be a problem. It should have been able to be do it from the get go.
Yeah, and it should be. I think if they're turned to stone, you can have an option to just have your party get killed and being able to revive them or something. Like, because if they're turned to stone, like what they also are immortal. Like you can't kill them or they can't die. It's like,
Yeah, it
eh.
seems a little broken.
And my last gripe, and I actually looked it up and it said this was actually an issue, like an issue with the game. There's a couple spells that are just glitched and that just don't even work. And two, there's mages that you fight. There's a group of mob called mages, and they can use spells that all other mages can use, and they can also use the spell called Rub, which just erases your character. It just insta kills them if it hits. And it's not like something that they use every 10 turns. It's like on their normal rotation. I literally had to try this little area because I kept getting hit with them like 100 times because they just my fully leveled up with pro rings warriors just were getting insta killed. Just rub and it says your character is erased and all their health just insta dies. Like they can all just kill your whole team in one move. And it's like, how is that fair? Like no matter what, there's nothing you can do to prevent it. Actually, this might have been before I got the pro ring, but still, the point stands. That's an issue with the
I,
game.
I don't disagree because even at this point, I know I've passed through those. I've seen them, and even with the white mage, I've only at the point where I got 3 life spells, so I can only bring back a couple times on it without having to go back to town, and that's just.
Mhm.
But still, just say roll the dice and sorry, you're dead. Next.
Yeah, it's a little broken. Okay, favorite part of the game. I'm obviously gonna go with Larry on this one. What's your favorite part of the game, Larry?
Um, Truth, I guess it's going to be at least the story. It progresses enough. There's enough little small bits in there to make you want to keep moving. It doesn't send you on great side quests. Um, so I'm gonna say my favorite part is definitely the story of it. I classically was a fantasy junkie, i.e., the medieval weapons and all that. And then the second thing, spoiler, I guess, on a 35-year-old game. Um, the the evolution, the change. Um, Sorry, CJ, you probably would have made it here if you had the opportunity to get this far into it. Maybe not, who knows? But you start out with the regular characters. You've seen them already, CJ, but you get to a point in the game where you get this thing and this dragon unlocks your power. And now
Yeah.
you're all big people. Instead of little people, you're
Oh,
big
okay.
people. And you look
That's cool.
more little badass and stuff. You know, you get that more Final Fantasy actiony kind of, stuff happens, spiky hairs and bigger muscles and all that kind of shit. And it's pretty cool. It's a nice little yeah, like you get a whole revamp because it's about halfway, 3/4 of the way through it, and then it's help pick you up to go through the rest. And they even put a little bit of a barrier in it to where there's certain spells you can't get or do, or weapons you can't use until you become this
Okay.
next level. So it's well worth getting to that grind. That's definitely my favorite things. How about you, Ed? What you want?
I'm gonna be a little cliche, kind of piggyback off what you said. Is the adventure really? It's an RPG. The adventure, I feel like the story makes sense. I mean, if you really feel like you're with your group, there's a bunch of different strategies, and also my second favorite thing would probably be the replayability. Like I can genuinely see myself coming back to this game like frequently. Like oh, I want to try an all mage class. I mean, probably not the best idea, but like stuff like that. Like that can genuinely it also kind of feeds my roguelike experience, just messing with different classes and messing with different classes on like different routes I can take. Yeah, that's definitely probably. I have a ton of things that I really enjoyed about this game, but the story, the replayability, that's probably my two favorites. CJ, you got what's your favorite out of the time you played? What did you enjoy? What did you like?
I'll just say the idea of it all, I guess. For me, it does seem like something I could probably get into. Given a little, better vision, 2 eyes, stuff like that. So I mean, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to the RPG category. So I think everything that you all said without doing it myself makes me makes me intrigued, basically. So I mean, don't really have enough playtime to pretend that I have something I love about it, but sounds like something I could get into. So I guess it did good on the the first 10 minutes you get into the game. It does good to get you hooked. I'd say that much. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
it works. It gives you a quick little how-to adventure, and but wait a second, there's more.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to give this game a chance for sure. First, it can be daunting, but you give it a chance and you'll get hooked. I got hooked, that's for sure. Well, it's about that time. We got final thoughts on the game. Larry, final thoughts. Round us out here.
Okay, I'll try to keep it brief, but I think once if anyone's looking, listening, paying attention to how long we've been at this game is massive. There's a lot going on, but it's not like a lot of yeah, we grind or I bitched a little bit about the grind, but even without that, there's just so much happening, so many things you can see, so many things you can do. Um, it's very beloved. I've watched different things over the years where people have proved, can you beat this with one fighter? It can be done. Can you beat this with one black mage? It can be done. So it's just crazy the amount of shit you can find and do and make happen with this game. Um, I personally love it for the nostalgia factor. It's the beginning of a franchise that's 15 plus games deep. Um, it's just something that's awesome. I don't know if you even talked about the beginning story, Aiden. It was a while ago, but this was Square's last shot at trying to exist. That's why I called it Final Fantasy. This was their, our last hope, our final hope to keep going. And dude, they fucking just crushed it. Because it's such an enduring game. They've remade it 2 or 3 different times now, but every playthrough that you get through it does feel different. You feel like you've got a whole new adventure in front of you every time, and it's just really good. I mean, I'll slowly touch it. The next thing, do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you play video games, you should play this. And I can't recommend it enough. And CJ, like I say, you find time, come back and play this. I'll play it again too. So I move on.
Fair
Good.
enough.
I 100% agree. I mean, this game has so much content to it. It's ridiculous for an NES game. I don't even know how they fit it all in. Pause. But it's just you have so much different options and so much different ways you can play. So many different strategies. And it's an RPG role playing game. Nice story to it. The graphics, for what it's worth, are good. The character models are good. The soundtrack is good. It's just the story. It really gets you hooked. And there's a sense of progression with your strength that also gets you hooked as well. You kind of notice the better weapons you get, you can instantly notice, oh, I'm doing some damage here. I'm finally getting on a roll. Or oh, I'm taking 2 damage here instead of 10. I mean, this is nice. There's definitely some progression with the armor and weapons that you can really feel. And as the story progressed, you feel, I don't know, it just makes you feel good. It's a great game. There's a lot of content. It's kind of daunting when you first get into it, but really give it a try, and I think you'll love it. Would I recommend it? 100%. If I personally, if I wanted to, if I wanted to go back on the games that I've recommended, I'd recommend this one the most, especially for something that is the foundation for a franchise like Final Fantasy. I personally like this game. Someone that hasn't played any Final Fantasies before, this has made me want to play more Final Fantasies as well. I'll 100% play it again. I might play it again this week. Yeah, this game is just a great game. I had a lot of fun on it. CJ, for what it's worth, what final thoughts? What final thoughts do you got?
Hey man, sounds good. It sounds fun. Would I recommend it? I'm gonna flip that and say, does somebody's recommendation make me say yes or no? Your all's recommendation makes me definitely know that I missed out on something here that I should probably pick up. Especially as many games as there are in the series. I mean, it's kind of pointless to not touch one of them. You know what I mean? So, I think your all's recommendations lead me to yes. I'd recommend it based on you all. It seems like something I could get into. The more you all talked about it, the more intrigued I kind of got. Kind of got a little angry at times. Kind of wish I got played it a little bit sooner. And I guess it's like where they say, "Would you rather be blind or deaf or whatever?" A lot of people won't say blind because they've seen before. So I'm kind of glad I didn't start it early, because if I would have seen and then my eyes started fucking up and I couldn't finish anything, maybe I did end up in a good spot here. But no, in all seriousness, sounds like something I should pick up. So will I play again? Literally have to. I feel like didn't really more of will I progress kind of thing. Yes, the goal is yes. Does sound like something I plan on picking up, especially like I said, there's so many in the series. So worst case, I know I'm normally the one bitching about graphics the most, saying play a newer version. Good series, good couple options here between 1 and 85. So yeah, I could probably pick one up.
100%. And I would pick it up some more Final Fantasies as well. But if we've gotten to that point of the episode, let's put some numbers to the paper, some rankings, 1 through 10, VGR podcast rankings. We'll go with Larry first. We are going to exclude CJ for the rankings for the most part, but we'll go with Larry first. What do you got to give this, man? I got to hear the number.
We have gushed. I have squirted. It's a terrible mess over here going on. You guys don't really want to know. Somebody's got to clean this up. We need a squeegee. I don't want to say this though that there ain't any flaws in this game. And I came tonight still sporting my very favoriteest Nintendo game, even though there's a ton of love for this game. So, with that in mind, I'm going to shoot this at about 8.9, and that's only because I think I gave Zelda a 9 itself. But
I think you give Zelda a 10.
I think
well,
you
either way, I'm
did.
still making sure there. So I'm going to just keep safe.
You did.
8.9 because the grind is real. The grind is fucking rough, and I think truthfully that's why I haven't played this in many years, is because that grind did get to me. But like I say, it also helps to a point of with today's technology and the help that's out there, at least now I can get a better point of where I'm actually going. So it helps kind of balance it out. And I did not finish it on this go around. I will go back and finish it this time. So, but 8.9 is where I'm going to land today.
Okay, for my score, a little preface it. I also did not finish it as well. I have a couple bosses. I talked with Larry. I have a couple bosses before I beat it. But I played about 20 hours in a week. I played about 20 hours in a week of this game. And maybe that's also why I didn't have as much issues with the grinding, because I was kind of just grinding naturally because I was sucking. I will not say this game isn't without gripes or isn't without issues for me personally, but I also do say some other NES classics that we've rated very high. I don't think we've played a game without any issues, and for a game this big with this much content on a system that old, a couple issues is mandatory. It's almost going to happen. So with that all being said, my personal enjoyment, I'm rating this a 9.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed this game. Had a lot of fun. One of my favorite games that we've played, without a doubt. Alrighty. Well, sorry for the long one, guys.
Give this
Yeah, what
8.9.
an 8 point. That doesn't make
That
sense.
doesn't make sense at all. 8.9. Hold
No,
on.
no, do your math again, man.
9.2. I lied to everybody.
Better.
Better. I was like, that makes no sense. 9.2. Definitely a longer one today. This is a long game, and we've played a lot of it throughout the week, so kind of had a little more to talk about. Well, CJ, you want to give us the outro? What are we looking at? What should they
Of
do?
course. Probably should go to bed. You're fine.
Drink
Just,
some water.
like, share. Yeah, drink some water. Drink more water. It's always good. Like us, share us, follow us. All your favorite streaming services. Go find us on the tube. You find us on the gram. You find us on the book. Go watch Aiden open Pokemon cards. Go look for some more stuff that I might have coming out. Larry's always has Larry's Corner with secret stuff in the works. Send us an email, vgrpod@gmail.com. Ask Aiden some more fucked up questions that he always likes to debate on. You know what's next. Tune us in, Larry. You've been alluding to it all day. What's coming in next?
Okay. Well, let's just be honest. This is our final episode, so we're going to have to apologize for that. But we're only having our final NES episode. Next time you see our faces, we're going to be doing our draft. We're going to be picking Season 2 SNES games. We might have a couple of ways we want to maybe skew the draft a little bit. That's just to help us help you, but who knows? We may just go fucking wild and just start picking games left and right. It don't matter. But the next time you see us, we will not be talking about NES games. We'll be talking about Super NES games. And honestly, it's a whole new ballgame. It's twice as many bits. It's a whole new thing.
That's true. It's literally double.
Many more bits to come.
Aiden and I were talking about it. I kind of got a rough draft already mocked out, so I'm feeling good.
Feeling
Some
good.
heaters.
A lot of games to come.
Coming up. Some heaters.
Some heaters coming up. Twice the amount of bits. A lot of bits. A lot of episodes coming out. Just stay in the works. Sorry for the long episode, but this was a good one to end it on. Had a lot of fun with this game. Good one to end out the NES saga of the VGR podcast. And we will see you guys in Season 2. Peace out.